Have you ever felt overwhelmed by sexual thoughts and urges and wished you could take control of your mind and heart? In today's video, we are going to explore simple, practical ways to avoid these thoughts and urges so that you can live a more peaceful, focused, and fulfilling life. In this video, we will share everyday techniques and advice from trusted sources, along with timeless wisdom from our holy books, the Quran, the Bible, and the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad to help you build better habits, guard your mind, and steer your energy toward positive pursuits. Whether you seek answers from modern psychology, personal experience, or spiritual teachings, our goal is to guide you step by step on a journey of self-improvement and inner strength. Many of us have struggled with unwanted sexual thoughts at some point in our lives. Our minds can sometimes fill up with images and ideas that distract us from what is truly important. Experts today say that learning to watch and control our thoughts is essential for personal growth. At the same time, our sacred texts offer clear advice on living a life of purity and self-discipline. For example, the Quran teaches us to guard our modesty and channel our desires in a proper way. In Surah Al-Mu'minun 23:5-7, it says, "And those who guard their private parts, except from their wives or those their right hands possess, for indeed they are not to be blamed, but whoever seeks beyond that, then they are the transgressors." This verse reminds us that our natural desires should be kept within the right boundaries and that self-control is a mark of a faithful heart. The Prophet Muhammad gave similar advice about controlling one's desires. In a well-known hadith recorded in Sahih al-Bukhari, he said, "O young people, whoever among you can marry should marry, because it helps him lower his gaze and guard his modesty. And whoever is not able to marry should fast, as fasting diminishes his desire." These words are very practical. They show that if you follow a clear, honest path, such as marriage or even the discipline of fasting, you can better manage your thoughts and feelings. The advice here is not to feel guilty for having natural desires, but to use the proper tools available to keep those desires from taking control. The Bible also offers guidance on this subject. In 1 Corinthians 6:18-20, the Apostle Paul instructs us, "Flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a person commits are outside the body, but whoever sins sexually sins against their own body. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own." This passage tells us that our body and mind are sacred, and we should treat them with great care. By avoiding actions and thoughts that can harm us, we honor the divine spark within and protect the temple of our spirit. One of the first steps in taking control of your thoughts is to become aware of them. You might notice that unwanted sexual thoughts come up suddenly and often without warning. It is important to observe these thoughts without judgment. Realize that having a thought does not mean you must act on it. Think of your thoughts as passing clouds that drift across a vast, clear sky. With practice, you can learn to watch these thoughts without being pulled into them. This kind of mindfulness helps you understand that you are not your thoughts. You have the power to let them go. When you are aware of your mind's activity, you can choose to redirect your focus towards something more helpful. One effective way to build this kind of awareness is to set aside a few minutes every day for quiet reflection or meditation. When you take time to sit quietly, you create a peaceful space inside your mind. The Quran tells us in Surah Ar-Ra'd 13:28, "Verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest." When you remember God through prayer or quiet contemplation, your heart becomes calm and there is less room for disturbing thoughts. In the same way, the Bible teaches that meditating on God's word can bring peace and renewal to your mind. As you practice these quiet moments daily, you begin to see that you have the strength to choose what you think about. Fasting is another simple yet powerful tool for managing sexual urges. Fasting is not just about skipping meals. It is a way of training both your body and mind to be patient and disciplined. The Prophet Muhammad's advice, as recorded in the Hadith, shows that fasting can reduce sexual desire and help you focus on what is truly important. Early Christians also practiced fasting to deepen their spiritual connection and self-control. When you fast, you learn to delay immediate gratification and instead concentrate on long-term benefits. This practice builds inner strength and reminds you that true satisfaction comes from nurturing your spirit, not from fleeting physical pleasures. Changing your daily routine is another important step. Our modern world is filled with images, sounds, and messages that can trigger unwanted thoughts and urges. It is wise to take control of your environment by choosing what you see, hear, and read. For example, consider avoiding movies, websites, or social media that have explicit content. Instead, fill your day with activities that lift your spirit and expand your mind. Read uplifting books, listen to inspiring lectures, or spend time in nature. By surrounding yourself with positive influences, you create a buffer against the distractions that lead to intrusive thoughts. Regular physical activity is also very helpful. Exercise not only keeps your body healthy, but it also helps clear your mind. When you take a brisk walk, run, or engage in any kind of sport, you are channeling your energy into something positive. This physical activity can serve as an outlet for stress and restlessness, which are often at the root of unwanted thoughts. The Bible encourages us to work with our hands and use our energy wisely, and exercise is a natural way to do that. Over time, regular physical activity can help reduce the intensity and frequency of distracting urges. It can also be very beneficial to talk with someone who understands your struggles. Whether it is a close friend, a family member, or a mentor from your community, sharing your challenges can lighten your emotional load and give you new ideas for overcoming temptations. In the Quran, the idea of brotherhood is very important. Believers are encouraged to support and help one another. Likewise, the Bible reminds us in Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 that two are better than one because they can help each other succeed. When you share your journey with someone who cares, you not only receive support, but you also help create a community of strength and accountability. Another practical way to keep your mind focused is to find a new hobby or activity that captures your interest. Discover a new skill, join a local group, or take up a creative project like painting, writing, or playing music. When you invest your time and energy in something you love, there is less room for unwanted thoughts. Many spiritual teachings suggest that serving others or engaging in creative work brings lasting joy and fulfillment. As you learn and grow in your new interest, you may find that your mind is less distracted by intrusive urges, and you feel more satisfied and purposeful. It is important to understand why these thoughts appear in the first place. Sometimes sexual thoughts can be a sign of underlying stress, loneliness, or boredom. Instead of fighting these thoughts with anger or guilt, try to see them as signals. Ask yourself if there is something in your life that needs attention. Maybe you are feeling isolated or anxious about something. By understanding the root causes of your urges, you can address them in a healthier way. Both the Quran and the Bible encourage self-examination and honest reflection. In 2 Corinthians 13:5, the Apostle Paul urges us to examine ourselves so that we may see where we need to grow. This honest look at yourself is a key step in overcoming unwanted thoughts. A powerful tool that many find helpful is the practice of gratitude. When you focus on the many blessings in your life, your mind naturally shifts away from negative or distracting thoughts. The Quran reminds us in Surah Ibrahim 14:7 to be grateful for every good thing that comes our way, and the Bible teaches us in 1 Thessalonians 5:18 to give thanks in every situation. Try keeping a gratitude journal where you write down a few things you are thankful for each day. This simple habit can change your perspective and create a positive mental space that is less vulnerable to intrusive urges. Prayer is one of the most powerful tools we have for overcoming unwanted thoughts. When you pray, you speak directly with God, asking for help, guidance, and strength. Whether you follow the 5 daily prayers in Islam or offer personal prayers as taught in the Bible, the act of praying connects you to a source of unlimited power and compassion. In Matthew 11:28-30, Jesus invites the weary to come to him for rest, and this invitation reminds us that we are never alone in our struggles. When you make prayer a regular part of your day, you are reinforcing your inner strength and inviting divine help into your life. Another technique that can help is learning to change the way you think about your urges. Instead of labeling sexual thoughts as bad or wrong, try to understand what they might be telling you about your state of mind. Perhaps they are a sign of stress or a need for deeper connection. By recognizing these thoughts as signals rather than enemies, you can learn to address the real issues behind them. This gentle shift in perspective, sometimes called cognitive reframing, is a modern approach that goes hand in hand with ancient wisdom. Both the Quran and the Bible encourage believers to renew their minds and fill their thoughts with truth and goodness. When you reframe your thoughts, you begin to see them as opportunities to grow, rather than obstacles to overcome. Setting clear personal boundaries is another important step in this journey. Decide in advance what is acceptable in your life and what is not. For example, you might set limits on the time you spend online, or decide to avoid certain types of entertainment that you know trigger unwanted thoughts. By having clear rules for yourself, you create a structure that supports your goals. Many spiritual traditions stress the importance of self-discipline and clear guidelines. When you know what your limits are, it is easier to say no to temptations and yes to what truly matters. Accountability is a very valuable asset in overcoming any struggle. Find a trusted friend, mentor, or community group with whom you can share your challenges and successes. When you have someone to talk to regularly, you are more likely to stick to your goals. The Quran speaks of the importance of the community, and the Bible reminds us in Proverbs 27:17 that iron sharpens iron. This means that when we work together, we can help each other grow stronger and more disciplined. Sharing your journey not only lightens your burden, but also creates bonds of trust and support that will carry you through tough times. In addition to these practical steps, it is important to continue learning and growing. Educate yourself about the nature of desire, the workings of the mind, and the wisdom of those who have walked this path before you. Read books, listen to lectures, and explore the teachings of spiritual leaders. Both the Quran and the Bible encourage the pursuit of knowledge. When you understand the deeper reasons behind your thoughts and urges, you become better equipped to manage them. Knowledge is power, and the more you know, the more you can shape your mind and heart for the better. Stress management is a key part of avoiding unwanted thoughts. Life can be stressful, and when we are under pressure, our minds often seek escape in unhealthy ways. Learning simple techniques to reduce stress, like deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, or even listening to calming music, can help keep your mind clear. When you feel stressed, take a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and focus on the present. The Quran reminds us that turning to God in times of distress can bring peace, and the Bible offers comfort to those who trust in the Lord. When you reduce stress, you remove one of the major triggers of unwanted thoughts. Taking care of your emotions is equally important. Feelings of loneliness, sadness, or insecurity can lead to stronger urges and distracting thoughts. If you feel these emotions, try talking to someone you trust or consider writing about your feelings in a journal. Processing your emotions in a healthy way can help you understand and manage them better. Both Islam and Christianity teach that caring for your heart is a sign of wisdom. When you take time to understand your emotional needs, you build a stronger foundation that helps you resist unhealthy distractions. Remember that changing the way you think is a gradual process. It is normal for old habits to resurface sometimes, and you may feel discouraged when you slip up. However, every time you notice a sexual thought and choose to let it pass without giving in, you are making progress. Over time, as you practice mindfulness, prayer, and healthy living, you will find that these thoughts become less frequent and less powerful. Instead of feeling guilty when an unwanted thought appears, treat it as an opportunity to learn more about yourself. Each moment of self-control is a small victory that builds your inner strength. In today's world, it can be very challenging to avoid sexual thoughts because we are constantly bombarded with provocative images and messages. That is why it is so important to create a daily routine that protects your mind. Start your day with a few minutes of prayer or meditation. Read an inspiring passage from the Quran, the Bible, or a trusted spiritual book. Take a walk outside and enjoy the beauty of nature. By filling your day with positive, uplifting activities, you reduce the time available for unwanted thoughts. A well-planned routine creates a mental environment that is focused, peaceful, and aligned with your goals. The journey to control sexual thoughts and urges is not a quick fix. It is a lifelong process that requires patience, persistence, and compassion for yourself. There will be days when old habits come back, and you may feel like you are taking one step forward and two steps back. In those moments, remember that every effort you make is valuable, and every small victory counts. The Quran, the Bible, and the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad remind us that setbacks are a normal part of the human experience, and that perseverance is the key to lasting change. Our bodies and minds are gifts that we must care for with respect and love. When we work to guard our thoughts and focus on what is truly important, we honor the sacred nature of our existence. The scriptures from the Quran and the Bible show us that a disciplined life leads to inner peace, strength, and lasting joy. By choosing to avoid harmful thoughts and by filling your life with positive practices, you build a foundation that supports a happier and more meaningful existence. Let this message remind you that the challenge of controlling unwanted sexual thoughts is not a sign of weakness, but an opportunity for growth. The timeless wisdom found in our holy text teaches us that self-control is one of the greatest strengths we can develop. When you treat your mind and body with respect, you honor the divine spark within and set the stage for a life of true fulfillment. Every time you choose to focus on prayer, meditation, exercise, or learning, you are reinforcing a positive pattern that helps you overcome temptation and stay true to your values. As we wrap up this exploration, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. Think about the practices you can adopt in your daily life to guard your thoughts and channel your energy in positive ways. Whether it is through regular prayer, mindful meditation, fasting, exercise, or simply spending time with supportive friends, each step you take brings you closer to a mind that is clear, focused, and filled with inner peace. The guidance from the Quran, the Bible, and the Hadith is not just ancient wisdom. It is a living, practical resource that can help you navigate the challenges of today. Know that you are not alone in this struggle. Many have walked this path before you and have found success by taking small, consistent steps. Trust that with time and practice, you can transform your mental habits and build a life that is free from the burden of unwanted sexual thoughts. The journey may be long, but every step forward is a step toward a stronger, more disciplined you. May you find the strength to change your mind, the courage to face your challenges, and the wisdom to seek help when you need it. Let your daily practices, whether it's reading a favorite verse, spending a few moments in quiet reflection, or engaging in physical activity, serve as the building blocks of a life dedicated to purity, focus, and self-respect. Remember the words of the Bible in 1 Thessalonians 5:18, "Give thanks in all circumstances, and know that gratitude can transform your outlook and reduce the power of unwanted urges." Every moment of self-discipline is a victory, and every day is a new chance to strengthen your resolve. As you continue on this path, keep in mind the promise found in Matthew 11:28-30, where Jesus invites the weary to come to him for rest. This invitation is a reminder that no matter how hard the struggle may seem, there is always a source of comfort and renewal waiting for you. Whether you draw strength from prayer, supportive friends, or the sacred texts that guide you, remember that your journey toward a clear and focused mind is one worth taking. In closing, thank you for joining us on this in-depth exploration of how to avoid sexual thoughts and urges. We hope that the ideas and spiritual teachings we have shared will help you build a calmer, more focused life. Stay dedicated to your journey, and remember that every small step you take is a success. With patience, perseverance, and the support of your faith and community, you can overcome these challenges and nurture a mind that is full of light, love, and strength. May you be blessed with the strength to overcome temptations, the wisdom to know your true worth, and the peace that comes from a disciplined heart. Continue to seek out practices that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. And let the timeless teachings of the Quran, the Bible, and the Hadith guide you in every step. Stay focused, stay hopeful, and always remember that every moment of self-control is a triumph for your soul, a victory that brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. Thank you for watching and listening. May your journey be filled with growth, learning, and endless blessings as you build a life free from unwanted distractions, and may you always find comfort in the love and guidance of the divine.